get on. I'm just waiting a few minutes for Wayne to get on. So it's going to be an exciting podcast. I'm pretty excited about it. Hopefully, you guys are doing good and going out and telling everybody how amazing they are. That's what I do. I try to find somebody to tell them they're amazing every day because they are. Everybody just spends so much time being negative. We need to spend so much time being positive and being happy. Yep. So glad you guys are on. So exciting. We're going to have a great day. Oh my goodness. I just love all this. I'm just getting my business plan and everything ready for, next year and just thinking about all the things that I want to do. And then I started thinking about it and I was talking to Wayne. I was like, I really need to think about what my why is. And he goes, I think you know what your why is. And I go, okay, well, I need more motivation. But we're going to talk about that. Like, you might know what your why is also. Some of you guys may know what your why is. And then you may need clarification on how to put it all together, in your blueprint, in your business plan. So he should be on soon. A couple minutes. It's probably in between appointments. He told me he was going to be just a few minutes behind, but it's okay. For you guys that don't know, look, I can always talk while I'm waiting on somebody. I figure it out, right? For you guys that don't know me very well, my name is Amy Bacon. Was spiritually, physically, financially fit with Bacon. I also I launched this so I could grow people spiritually, physically, financially, and I could build a tribe of people that wanted to grow that way. So I realized that it's not for everybody, and that's okay because I'm trying to find my tribe. So I just want to help empower people, grow people's faith. That's why I have the testimonies with the preachers and miracles, every week. And then we do the entrepreneurs, powerhouse, people who've been very successful creating, $1 million companies or hang on just a second, sorry. So I have those people on every week, and then I'm going to be, you guys. So I'm going to start having guests on too that does bodybuilding and powerlifting and different kinds of stuff like that to motivate you guys with some really good stories. We're going to start that really soon. Okay, here's Wayne. I see Wayne. I see Wayne. I'm trying to. Gotta get my guest on here. Okay, I think I invited you on TikTok. Got you on TikTok now. Okay. Not working? I invited you. I don't. Wayne is invited. Wayne is not there. Wayne, can you accept my invitation? Okay, you joined. Okay. Hey. Okay, I'm seeing you on the river. On the river. On the riverside. And then I see you. Okay. All right, guys. There is Wayne. Let me expand him here so you can see him. There he is. We found him. Oh my goodness.
All the places, the right things.
Yeah, I got you a little grainy on Riverside. Wow, why is that happening?
Oh, that's fine. Riverside's always grainy because it uploads, so it's good.
Okay.
It's a little bit, hopefully.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Okay. So we are live on YouTube, Facebook, and we are on TikTok. You guys. Okay. Awesome. Thank you guys for joining. Look at all you guys joining today. Oh, yeah. We need some motivation here. I know. That's what I like about Wayne. He always makes me think about things. Ask good questions. He always asks great questions. You got to have those kind of friends. Good morning, Timothy. Good morning. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys for joining. Hi, Kyle. Glad you're back. Okay. Hi, everybody. This is Wayne Simmons. Oh, my God. He is a speaker, coach, realtor. Oh, my God. I've seen him do amazing things in the last 17 years that I've known him. I've only known him for that long. And I've seen him go from bottom to up, something like that. Oh, my God. He's just went through so many things, and he just keeps going. He just he just doesn't let anything stop him. He's unstoppable. He's not a quitter. He don't quit. And he just empowers people all over, and he's amazing. Huh?
Absolutely. We just keep going.
You are. I was thinking about that this morning because I'm, going to be the speaker for homeless vets because I just love homeless vets. And I was just thinking about not quitting. And I was thinking I thought about you because you know how you went through so much and you just kept going. You just kept doing your videos. You kept getting up. You kept going to work. You just kept going no matter what. And I remember years ago, I was speaking to the vets and God gave me this thing, and I'm going to make it quick before we get on our why. And it's really about not quitting. Here's the thing is that we have a dream, but we can't quit no matter what comes against us. And it was like there was this, God was showing me in this vision, like there's this there's this army that's out there, right? And so, and there's this army, and this army is against us. This is our enemy, and our enemy is so many different things, right? Like it could be fear. It could be, I have low self-esteem. I don't have value. Nobody around me sees value. My credit's bad. Nobody in my family's ever did it. So I, can't do it. Or I struggle with my mind. I can't get my mind right. I don't have peace, negativity and things are in our minds. These could be your army. Okay. And all these different things in our mindset. And so as I saw this vision of different things, so drugs, it could be drugs, it could be alcohol, it could be pornography, it could be, dating multiple people all the time, or buying off of Amazon uncontrollable, or it could be eating sugar until you just can't eat no more sugar and these get me more sugar, right? These are all the things that you're up against, right? So this is your army. So if you agree with that, so make sure how God is showing me, like, if you agree with those things, you're sitting down with the enemy and say, I'm agreeing with that's my future. And that's where I'm going. And what happens is if you keep doing that, you're showing everybody's watching you. This is how we win. This is how we fight our battles. Instead of going, I'm not going to agree with that. I'm going to agree with how God has made us, how God has created us. And I'm going to agree with peace, and I'm not going to fear. And I'm going to agree that God gave me value and that I have a purpose and he has a plan for me. And I'm going to agree with the purpose and the plan. Right. And I'm going to agree with, I don't need drugs and alcohol and all these things. I'm not going to agree with that and sit down with the enemy. And because if you do that, it's almost like you're multiplying it and you're saying all those things like, this is what I agree with. And this is where I'm going, and so it's so what happens if you keep sitting there, and this is the end here. If you keep sitting there, you're committing suicide every single day. Every time you take the drink. Every time you agree with the negativity, every time you agree with the fear, you're committing suicide. And here's the thing is that you can't say, oh, well, the drugs killed me, or, oh, this killed me, or, oh, somebody else in my past did this and tormented me or abused me or whatever. No, you choose that. You choose every day, because nobody from your past, nothing that's ever happened to you is who you really are, who you're created to be. And so just saying all of this to say is that, don't quit. Don't agree with all the negative stuff and the bad stuff. Don't quit. Just don't quit. And I think about that when I think about Wayne, is that Wayne has never been a quitter. And no matter what happens in his life, and he's had some things happen in his life, and he just never quits. And he doesn't sit down and feel sorry for himself. He just keeps going. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I have plenty of moments where I sat down and felt sorry for myself. I just didn't stay there forever. So it's easy to have those moments and feel and be there. Though, you know what I mean? Like it is. And then it's like, all right, what am I gonna do? Because it's man, we all have bad days, all of us.
Yeah.
Just don't let it turn into bad weeks and months and years, right?
Or agree with it and stay there. Yeah, like just quit and go, oh, okay, it's never gonna happen. Right. But you can't, but don't quit. Don't quit, because you know what? You're built for so much more. And that's why we're doing this. I mean, we're here. We're not getting paid to be here. We want to empower people. We want to help people. I mean, that's our goal, is to make a difference in the world and tell you and encourage you, Yeah. So Wayne's an amazing person. And we're just going to talk about your why. Why do we need a why? Going 90 miles an hour.
Why do we need a why?
How do we need a why, Wayne?
There's there's two kinds of people. I think the myth is that most people like we're just walking down the street one day and they all of a sudden find out what their why is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for most of us, it was not. It wasn't like that. It's I'll tell you what. For the majority of people, it takes a while to figure it out. It is not just a one overnight night thing. You know what I mean? I think the other big myth about big whys. I think the first myth is that it'll hit you overnight just one day. I think the second myth is that it has to be this like huge, ridiculous, overly spiritual, overly monetary, whatever this kind of thing. And for some people, their big why is really, really simple. For some people, and very specific. And then I think another one is that here's a big thing that I think a big mistake that a lot of people make when it comes to their why is they try to figure out their why and their what at the same time.
Okay.
And one thing that I think is really, really valuable for you that helped me was realizing that I need to figure out what my why is and then figure out the what. So the what is like what I'm gonna do. The what is like for you, it's like the coaching you're doing. The what is like the lives. Like that's the what. But you have to figure out the why first because you're trying to figure out like the what and the why at the same time is very, very tough. So the first thing is to figure out like what's my why, then what's the best vehicle I want to get in to help me fulfill that why. Right. So I think if you can kind of separate those two, that makes a big difference.
Okay.
The next big myth is that you don't need to know it. You do. You need to know what your lighthouse is on the hill, like what you're headed towards, what's important to you, what's kind of that gas. It doesn't need to be some audaciously crazy thing. You do need to know kind of why you're getting out of bed, what motivates you, what's important to you. The other thing is it doesn't need to take forever. It can be simple. So I think those are the big things. I remember, like in my life, I was sitting around years ago, and I had all these books sitting on the floor around me, and I was trying to figure out my purpose in life. And it's like I have little bits and pieces all over the place, but nobody really put it together in a way that made sense for me. And that's what I spend a lot of time trying to figure out. I was like, how do I make that come to life? How do I make that real? So yeah. And I think that most people have three questions they're asking themselves. I think the three questions are, did I really live? Did I love and did I matter? Like, did I really live a life that I'm proud of? Did I really love like with all of me? And did I matter? Did I make a difference? Did I make an impact? Did I do something of value? So I think a lot of people they want to have a fulfilling life. They want to figure out what they're after. And a lot of reasons why they don't have a fulfilling life sometimes because they just don't even know what they're after in the first place. So we got to kind of slow it all the way down. Like, why am I here? What's actually motivating me? What's driving me? And for some people, they say, "Oh, I want to make money." Money isn't a motivator. Money is like facilitator. Money isn't the motivator. Yeah, in the morning. I didn't touch anything. I promise.
Something's going on with the volume. It's like I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Let me see. I wonder why. I wonder what changed.
Okay, talk again.
I'm talking away.
Okay, I can hear you good now. I don't know what happened.
That was good. I wonder why it did. Problems I didn't touch anything.
Okay, so can you tell me that again? I'm sorry.
So the last part, I don't know what. Why am I getting feedback now? I literally didn't touch anything.
I turned my volume down on my on the TikTok. Is your volume down on your phone? I'm hearing you clear now, but I'm not. But maybe you're not hearing me now.
Yeah, I'm just hearing myself in echo now.
You're not echoing, but your voice is perfect on my end.
Well, I'll just go with it and do it on my end. All right with you.
Oh, it echoed just a minute. Is your volume down on your phone?
It is. Well, I mean, that's what I'm using for TikTok. I turn that all the way down.
I'm just guessing here because I think that happened before on a different podcast. I just don't know. I'm just.
Let's see.
Okay, I can hear you. Or is it still doing that to you?
All right, I checked it. You may have fixed it. Nope. Why is that? Let me see. Let me check one more thing. I'm not
I'm not sure where it's coming through.
This
This is all the way off.
There we go.
There we go. Is that any better?
I can hear you good now. Can you hear me good?
I can.
I can. I just don't know why it's playing back to my ears for some reason. Why?
Okay.
Check one more.
All right,
Take it away for a second.
Thanks, guys, for hanging in there. Sorry about our little technical stuff going on here.
All right.
I don't know what's going on. Push through. See what we can do.
Okay.
All right. So if you can hear me, all right, we'll go for it.
Okay.
Can you
or not?
Back up a little bit from your phone, your microphone.
There you
There we go. Is that any better?
Put that
Put that over there.
Any
Any difference?
Yeah, it's weird. It goes in and out, in and out.
Yeah, I'm
not sure why it's doing that.
Can't hear you. Are you talking? Can't hear nothing. It's like you're on mute or something for some reason. I don't hear nothing. Unmute yourself. I lost you altogether. You know what? Let me click out of here and click back on. Okay, let me.
There you go. There you go. Now it should be working. I'm not sure why doing both at once never works for me. I'm going to change this. And we'll do that. And then we'll go over here and try to do it this way.
How are we doing?
I think we maybe get it figured out here. Hold on. Okay, is that working for you now?
Yep, sounds good.
Okay, there we go. All right, maybe this will work.
Okay. Hopefully we are. I'll just be clicking on stuff. I think we are good.
Okay, it's good on my end.
Okay. 57
All right,
minutes.
there we go.
These are all positive, or they're all just telling us. They're all just, I don't know. They're probably like, "Oh, let me teach you how to do this." I'm like, we're happy if you can teach us how to make everything go perfect. Because I don't know about you, I'm so ready to not have one technical. I want to get to one podcast with about one technical issue there.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Okay, so here we go. We're ready to go. Okay, Wayne. Okay, can you recap a little bit in case anybody
Yes,
missed?
I'll do a quick recap. We'll jump right in. So here's the first things. I think it's there's a couple of myths about a big why. The first one is that it's just going to hit you magically someday, right? That someday you're going to be walking along and just all of a sudden you're going to know exactly what your big why is. I think for most people, it doesn't happen that way. For most people, it takes them. They have to do some work to figure out what their big why is, right? It doesn't just hit them magically on a Tuesday, which would be nice. The second thing is, I think a lot of people think that their big why has to be like overly audacious and something like incredibly deep and spiritual and whatever. And some of these are really simple. You know what I mean? And then I think that the other one is, and we talked about this a little bit, but like I want to separate two things, and we'll talk about this a little bit as we go through this. But like your what and your why. So your why is kind of like what drives you. And then the what is kind of like the vehicle that you put that why in. The what is kind of like how I fulfill that. And I think people try to figure that out at the same time. So like you need to figure like, hey, I want to make an impact in the world. I want to help these kinds of people, experience more joy or whatever it is. Cool. Now, what am I going to do to go help make that happen? So I think separating those two is really helpful because I always try to figure both out at the same time. It was very tough. So you got to kind of separate those out. And then I think the other thing is you do need to understand what drives you. You need to understand what motivates you and what kind of gets you out of bed in the morning. I think that all of those are important. At the end of the day, I think most of us are trying to answer the question of like at the end of our life, like, did I live well? Right? Did I really live a great life? Did I love deeply? Did I really love and did I matter? Did I make an impact? And I think most people want to be able to, answer all three of those with a resounding yes. Yes, I lived. Yes, I loved. Yes, I mattered. And I think that that's what's driving a lot of people to kind of figure out their big why. They want to have more fulfillment. They want to be able to kind of line things up in a row. And some people, they go, money is I just want more money. Money is great, but money isn't really a core motivator. Money is more of a facilitator. Right? Money helps you do things, but just money in and of itself isn't really the motivator. So I think there's a lot that goes into it to figure out what do we really want, right? And it starts by, the first step that I always give people is ask themselves a lot of questions. What brings them joy? What do they spend most of their time doing? What are they afraid of? What circumstances do they want to avoid in their life? If they had a second chance to do life over again, what would they do different? Like, there's all the, what would you do if you couldn't fail? A lot of times discovering your big why takes some time to just sit down and journal and write and go through and ask yourself a lot of those kinds of questions. I think it's really important. And most people don't want to really do the work it takes to really figure this out, right? It takes like quiet, peace, sit there and think for a couple of days kind of time.
Yeah, thinking time. I mean, successful
Thinking time.
time to think. They time block that time to
Yeah.
think. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
and you're right. Everybody wants to be on social media and not write down things. But I think you're right. You got to figure out if you're going to go to the next step and the next level.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
find your why.
100%. Yeah.
I mean, I like what you said, something about joy, like what brings you joy. And that's
Yeah.
something to think about. And I was talking earlier at 6 a.m. and I was talking about like what makes you giggle. Have you ever just wrote down like what makes you laugh? I mean,
Yes.
I have literally visions of things that have made me laugh, and it's silly stuff. So silly what makes me laugh. And so document that. And I also think that you should document what makes you angry, and
Yes.
what
Yeah.
some things that you need to stay away from or whatever. I think, so that what triggers those things. But a lot of people, they'll know quicker what makes them angry more than they'll know what makes them have joy.
Yeah.
Most people,
Yeah.
if you
No,
ask
you're 100% right.
things
Yeah.
that make
A lot
you
of people
laugh-
can write down what they don't want easier than they can write down what they do want. So it's like, cool, take time, write down what you don't want. You know what I mean? I think it's great to do.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know. So Wayne, what brings you joy? Answer one of those questions. Like what brings you joy? What makes you laugh? What makes you, what
Yeah,
makes you
so
great?
I figured out my three top values. And my three top values are fun, impact, and connection. So if I can do those three things, I'm so excited, right? Like it's got to be fun. It doesn't necessarily always mean easy, but like I love for things to be fun. I love connection, meaning like not I don't want to have like transactional relationships, right? Like I want to actually connect. I want to actually like do things, it's not just, I don't want to be significant. I want to make a connection with people and then impact. Like I want to make a positive impact. So like if we're having fun, right, which is why I like hanging out with you, right? It's fun, right. We're growing, we're making an impact. Like if I can do those 3-4 things, like that's awesome to me. But it took a while for me to figure that out. And I had to look back in my life, like, when was I most lit up? Like, what do I value? And we have a whole list of values I feel go through and go like, pick out what are your top values? What are the things that light you up? What are the things that mean the most to you? What are the things that you would fight for? And figuring out your top values is huge. If you can figure out your top 3 or 4 values and like things need to line up with that.
I like that. Something that stuck out with me, what lights you up?
Yeah.
What lights you up? And I just thought about this because I just remember like being emotionally high when this happened. Like if you could be emotionally high.
Yes,
I was
yeah.
emotionally high for like 3 or 4 days. And I had flew to Bethel, Alaska, which is a remote area, and me and another lady, and we literally fed people all day long. They didn't
Yeah.
have to pay anything. We just took food over there for no reason. Wasn't like anybody was homeless. It wasn't anything. It was just we fed people. And all day we just fed them hot dogs or hamburgers, whatever, all day. And then we ran out and then we got some more. And then the grocery store came and brought us stuff. And it was just neat. I mean, and
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what happened here, but it made me feel good to give to people. And so when you said
Yes.
that, I was like, I don't know. It's something I like to do. I like to give, and it makes me feel good. And I remember for days, I felt like so good. And you know what? It might not always be like, oh, if I get this, because I do like getting flowers and I like getting gifts. I mean, I love all the 5 love languages. I don't have one that I don't like. I like them all. I like get them
Yeah,
all.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Yes.
I said, give me all like 10 times each one.
Yes. 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 For sure.
Right?
Yes.
And then you
Yes.
just think about like, I think that sometimes we're in the world that everybody's in the take instead of give. And when I found that, and I was talking about it earlier before you got on, it was that when I got really, really down and depressed in Alaska, in the wintertime be hard because the clouds and you know how it is, it just makes you like, ugh.
Oh
'Cause
my gosh, yeah, I'm sad the sun's going down here at 6, and I'm like, this is crazy, right? Right, you're in Alaska, and you're like, it's like 1 o'clock, and you're like, yep, there it goes, right? It's going down, right? You're like, I don't know why I'm sad. Maybe because it's dark 84 hours a day. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's a
that
little
cloud.
tough. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, it's that cloud. And so a couple of winters. And so one winter, this is the craziest story, but I had to do what I had to do. And I was just like, oh, I just can't see good in this world right now. And there's just the clouds, the dark. It was just every different. I don't know that it was everything. I think a lot of times my life is just great, but sometimes in my mind I feel this way. So I went and got
Well,
a
we find what we look for, right? So, like, it's funny because people go like, hey, I'm tired. And what they don't realize is when they're saying that, their mind is looking for them to be in alignment with, I mean, you know this better than anybody. Their mind's looking to keep them sane. So it's like, if I say I'm tired, it's like, my mind's like, oh yeah, we did go a little bed a little late last night. Oh yeah, I don't know if you slept the best. Oh yeah, like I'm actually like making up reasons and like connecting dots that may or may not be there. So like if I'm saying I'm sad, or if I'm saying I'm depressed, my mind's actually going to work to prove me right.
Oh,
So-
Wayne. Oh,
But-
yeah.
So like, but it works both ways. So I go like, man, I feel good today. My mind starts looking for that. I think I'm excited about today. My mind starts looking for reasons why. I think it's going to be a good day. My mind starts going to work on that, right? So it's like, I got to be the controller of that conversation because it's going to find whatever I look for. If I told you to go look around for things that are red, you'd find some red stuff, even if it wasn't there, right? You see maroon and you'd be like, yeah, red, right? But if I told you to look for green, you go find that. Like our mind is an amazing machine, but here's the hard thing:
Yeah.
resetting and reminding your brain every day, because like it will go to the default settings. And I don't know about you, my default settings are like feel sorry for myself.
Yeah.
Watch out for bad things because I don't want to get hurt. Like
Right.
protect myself, so like don't go out. Don't do anything scary. Right? Like my default setting sometimes is not amazing. So I got to remind myself: you are loved. You are a child of God. You are fun. You are
Right.
ready for this day. You are passionate. Like I got to reset that thing often.
Right. That's so true. That's so true. And we have to. I mean, what have you got to do to start thinking on good and seeing the good and not entertaining and telling yourself a story to help you create something that you just thought. You imagine it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tell people that when they're doing the property disclosure, I'm like, don't add a story to it. It's just a yes or no. Don't go, well, maybe I thought there might be a mouse. I'm not sure if there was, but maybe there was. Did you see
Yes
one?
or
You know?
no? Just let's move. Let's move. Yes.
Don't go create the story. So, anyways, I went out and bought $100 worth of a $5 Starbucks card, and I went around and and I'm gonna tell you, this was like a really emotional time for me. And I went to the post office, and when I got to the post office, this guy opened the door for me. And you would think, well, you're a pretty lady. People open the door. They do. But I was going through a really rough time. And he opened the door for me, and I was like, oh my God, I gave him a coffee card. I just started bawling. I don't know why, but I just started bawling. But I got in line, and the guy comes back, and he hands me this big gift. And he was going around taking clients different gifts, and he just gave me this big gift and gave it to me. And I was just like, of all kinds of fun stuff in there. And I was just like, wow, how amazing. But he made me feel good. But I was focusing on that little thing. And then I went to the store, another store. And then this lady goes over and grabs somebody else's husband, and says, I need something off the top shelf. And the guy goes over and does it, which, like, I thought that was this, I don't know why she would do that, but she did. And I gave him a card, and kind of find out it was somebody's connected to one of the restaurants in Alaska. And I was like, man, there's like really good people. I mean, even owners of companies, they don't go around acting like they're too good to help somebody. There are. And so I did that. And so now I haven't done that in a few years, but in years past, I have practiced on buying cards and looking for the good thing. And don't tell somebody you're doing it, because if you tell somebody, they naturally will do it just so you'll pay them. But just go look. Go, you know what? Today I'm just going to say who's doing something nice today, so you can see the good. Like you could see the red if Wayne told us go find the red.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. Yep. Very true.
Focus.
So here's the thing. I'll give you 2 frameworks to help with the big why. So to figure out your purpose. So here's the first exercise I would do. This is a great one. If somebody wants to grab this and use it, it's really, really good. If you want the whole sheet, text or message Amy and she'll get it to you, because I'll send it to her. But there's 2 different ways I go about doing it. So the first way is this: like, make a list of 10 things that would make your life, like your life and your work, ideal. So what would make your work and your life ideal? That when those were accomplished, you would feel like fulfilled and completed, right? So write those things down. Like, my life would be ideal when I am, right? When my life is ideal, I am. When my life is ideal, I am taking my kids to school every morning. When my life is ideal, I am impacting people in a positive way. When my life is ideal, I am, making X amount of money. When my life is ideal, I am feeling and looking a certain way. Like, write those things down and just push yourself to figure out, like, what are 10 or 15 of those, and then pick the top 5 and write out what they would actually look like. So my life is ideal. When my life is ideal, I am looking fit, feeling healthy. What does that mean, right? I weigh about this much. I'm able to do these things. I look this way. I enjoy this, right? I'm eating this way. Like, write those out. And I'll tell you what, just the act of getting all that stuff out of your head and on paper, within that, you'll begin to see how you define success. Like, what's important to you? What are you really after? And I think that's a really cool exercise that you can do to go through that. And the other thing is, like, figure out what are your values. And here's a really interesting way to figure out your values. This is really hardcore if you think about it for a second.
This is big deal right here.
When you think about what were the 3 lowest moments in your life, and if you think about 3 of the low moments of your life, you can almost always go back to one of your highest values was being violated or ignored, right, by somebody else or by you. So the lows were like, I wasn't taking care of myself financially. I let somebody, break my boundaries over and over. I wasn't being treated in the way that I choose to be treated. Whereas, like, the low moments are usually violations or breaks of your values. And then on the other side, think about your high moments. Like, when do you feel at absolute peak state? When do you feel like you are the most badass run through the wall, right? And that's usually an indication of your values, right? Like, my highest and best, and probably same for you, Amy, right? It's like, man, when I see the light go off in somebody's eyes because of something I shared with them, whew, that's amazing for you, right? That's impact, man. That's amazing. When I really connect with somebody on a deep level, it's like, oh, that's awesome, right? When I'm having fun, when I'm laughing with my kids, when we're belly laughing, whatever it is. So one of the ways you can identify your values is look at, like, in the low times, what was violated either by myself or somebody else, and in the high times, man, what was I in alignment with at that moment? And those can be very
alignment.
really be
Alignment
eye openers.
with.
Yep.
What
Yes.
was I in alignment with?
Yes.
Hmm.
So good. So
That is
helpful.
so good. It's a lot to think about. I don't think we think about those things. We don't think about values. We just
No.
keep going, you know?
Yeah.
And the thing is, if you don't have the same values as somebody else, connecting, if you're trying to be in a close relationship with somebody, if you don't have the same values, you're going to be like this. You got to have
Yeah,
people on the same
absolutely.
team with you. Even if you have a business, you got to have the same values, you know, because it's huge. You think you can just settle and say no, but it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good in the long run settling. The values is man, that is a big lesson I learned this last couple of years. Is about values, and do the people that I'm surrounding myself, that's sitting at the table with me, do they have the same values as me? And what are my values? And I wrote those down, and I think that that's a big deal.
Well, like you said, like, it's hard to see if people are in alignment with you if you don't know what your values are. Like as silly as that sounds, how many people are like, I don't know if we're in alignment? It's like, all right, well, what are your values? Oh, I don't know. Like, how are we ever gonna know? Right? Like, we gotta do the work to figure it out, right? Like, we gotta do that work. Yeah.
Yeah, because you know what? You do have values, and unconsciously, you will get frustrated at somebody if they don't have the same values as you. You know, even like I've run into somebody who's like, okay, respect means this to them, and if you don't do that, you know, they're not happy because their expectations are this, and if you don't agree with that, it's going to be hard to connect with somebody, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, because you have to
And
get
it is
people.
lots of other
Mhm.
people have different ones, and it doesn't mean they're bad, right? Some
Right.
people might value something else and um, more than you do, and that's okay. Like, yeah. So it's important to figure out. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? If you value paying attention to detail in your business and paying attention to and having ethics and excellence, okay? If
Yeah.
this is important to
Yeah.
you and these are your values, you this is important to know about yourself, right?
Absolutely.
Because the thing is that you can't just go hire somebody who doesn't care, right? And they just do
No.
something.
No.
Oh, okay, we'll fix it later.
Yeah.
If that's not one of your values, right? If excellence and paying attention to detail, because some people they don't care. They really don't, right? It's
No.
like the
No.
the junkyard guy who has a bunch of junk in his yard. That's good. That makes him happy. That fulfills him, right? But if you don't want junk in your yard, okay,
It ain't gonna work out.
excellence, and you like everything, you know, weeded it, and look, every 3 days you're mowing, or you're got the snow remover, whatever. That's important to know, because if you hire
Yeah.
somebody who wants to live like the junkyard, and you're the person who wants to look like the yard is crisp, right? You're not gonna flow,
It's
right?
not gonna work. It's not
You
gonna
gotta
work.
know
No.
who you are,
No. Yes.
and know
That-
that you can't settle.
Yes, you
If
have to
you're
know who you are, and that's
Yeah.
that's the biggest piece. And so there's several things I would have people write down.
Okay.
And if I was making a list, I would write these down. The first would be, what are my values? What do I believe in? What do I stand for? Second is, what are your natural talents or gifts? Like some people have the gift and talent of discernment. Some people have the gift and talent of details, right? Others it's the ability to encourage, whatever it is. Like,
Yeah.
what's some of your natural gifts and talents? And usually those are things you would give away for free, right? Like, you just love doing that. You know what I mean?
Yes, you're
Um,
passionate. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Easy.
And
Yeah.
then the next is what and this is a weird way to think about this, but what pisses you off? What do you want to change in the world is a great thing to consider. Right? So, like, what pisses you off? What's the change you want to make in the world? Maybe it ticks you off that people aren't educated financially. Maybe it ticks you off that people don't know how to take care of themselves. Maybe homelessness is your thing. Whatever it is, like, what's the change you want to make in the world? What are you passionate about? Um, and then ask yourself, who do I want to help? Who do I want to help? What's the contribution I want to make? But if you can articulate those things, your values, your talents, what you want, what the changes you want to make, and who you want to help. If you figure out those things, being able to put those together is beautiful. But it takes time to sit down and write those out and
Yeah.
discover what those are. And then the framework that I give people is, it's like I'm committed to using my values, right, in alignment with my talent, because I'm committed to, like, for me, it's like, because I'm committed to, like, growth and empowerment, I'm going to use my talents of teaching and coaching to create a better world for myself, right, and others, a world that has less hopelessness and more empowered people. So for me, it's like I'm taking my values and my talents, who I want to help, and the change I want to make, and I'm putting those into a concise sentence. And for me, that works really, really well. That's not for everybody, but for me, that works well to put in that kind of framework. And I've had lots of, no, you're good. And there's lots of different ways to think about your values. Some people, their value statement is very, very simple. And their value statement is like, I want to get better every day. John Maxwell, his big value is he wants to grow every day, and he wants to make a positive impact on somebody's life. So there's lots of different ways to write out your values. You just got to figure out, like, what lights you up, what's the impact you want to make, and then getting that figured out is huge. Sir Richard Branson, his was to have fun in my journey through life and learn from my mistakes. Oprah's was great. Oprah's is to be a teacher and be known for inspiring her students to be more than they thought they could be. Like, those are great statements. You just got to figure out what's right for you.
Yeah, they are great statements. Yeah, it's a lot to think about.
It is a lot. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, we live with ourselves and we just don't think too much about it. A lot of people, I've had them take my class and they just don't even know what's great about them. And I can tell them what's great about them. But they don't even know. Yep. And so that's, it's a lot to think about in all those areas, and I love it.
It really is.
So let me think of what's our what. So we have our why and our what, and then I guess we want to.
Here's the what. So here's how you figure out the what. Ask yourself these 4 questions. These are the 4 most powerful questions to help you figure out the what.
Okay.
What do I love?
Okay.
What am I good at?
What am I good at?
What does the world need?
What does the world need?
And they're willing to pay for.
Oh. And what are they willing to pay for?
Because most of us need a what that unless you're independently wealthy, you don't need to worry about that one. But what do I love? What do I enjoy taking on? Right? What am I good at? Like, some people are good at music, but music doesn't love them as much as they love music, right? We've all seen that person right? We've all seen that person, right? Like you love singing, but we don't love hearing. All right, so what do you love? What are you good at?
Yeah.
What does the world actually need?
And what does the world actually need?
What can you get paid for? Right? That they're willing to pay for, because you can have things you love that the world needs, but if you can't get paid for it, we all love doing volunteer work, but I may not be able to do volunteer work all the time, right? But if I can find a job that I love, that I'm good at, that the world needs, that I can get paid for, man, that is the trifecta of bringing all those 4 things together, and that's what allows you to live a life of passion and purpose, where you don't need to go on vacation. You can go on vacation if you want, but you don't need to, because you're actually in line with what you're doing.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Yeah, because when you're in a like you said, when you're aligned with what you're called to do, what's your gift and your passion, you're happy. It's not, oh, where am I going? It's because you actually live that life and it's full of
Yes.
peace. Because you're doing exactly what God's called you to do and you're walking in that
Correct.
instead of going, I'm not good enough, or somebody told you. Here's the thing is I tell people all the time is that a lot of times the greatest part about you is the thing that you've heard in your childhood or somewhere where other kids or other people put you down or they're jealous of you, where you've had to become less
You're too
than.
excited. You're too excited. You talk too much. You're too. Yes.
Yeah. And they put you down. And so you go, oh, that's a bad thing about me, but it's not. It's your gift. You're not supposed to be like everybody. Here's the thing is I tell people, I said, it's okay to be weird because we're all weird. We are not designed to be like the world wants us sometimes. Like we're all the same. We're supposed to look this way, talk this way, act like this. No, some of us are loud like me. Some people are really, really quiet, and some people are really messy. And some people are like detail, and there can't be one
Yep.
piece of dust. If you see detail like that, that's a gift. If you love to write things and you like to make Excel, spreadsheets, and you just love doing numbers, that's your gift. That's what's so amazing. If you like putting parts together, building robots, that's your
Yeah.
gift. If you like playing on
Absolutely.
cars, that's your
Absolutely.
gift. I don't want to build a car. I don't want to do an oil change. I don't want to do all that. But you might say, "Oh, I love doing that." That's your gift. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's amazing. We have to get where we love ourselves and accept it. And I tell people too, is like if you don't know what's great about you, go ask four people what's great about you.
Ask me. Yes. Yeah. Why are we friends? Why do you like me? What do you see in me that I might not? Yeah. All those things are great to ask. And I think the key
Why,
underneath all this
why you want to
is
hang out
just
here?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Is like discover yourself, right? Like figure out who you are, what you're about. You know, what would be a hell yeah for you? Hey, here it is 3 years from now. What do you want that to look like? Like, but the key is thinking is hard, and
Yeah,
most people will avoid doing the inner work and the thinking,
yeah,
and they just want it to just show up one day, or they want somebody else to do it for them. And I'll tell you, it's the greatest gift you can give yourself is going through, asking yourself the questions, doing the work, sitting with a piece of paper, and just journaling and writing things down. And like, there's not an easy path, but I'll tell you what, spending some time to figure this out is a whole lot easier than spending your entire life without figuring this out.
yeah. Okay, so let's recap on give me some questions on the why again and then the what again.
Okay, absolutely. All right, so here's some questions I
Okay,
would ask
ready?
myself on the why. I'm ready. I'm ready. Um, right. Spend time. First off, reflect. Reflect on, like, what am I doing, and am I happy with what I'm doing and why I'm doing it? Ask yourself questions like, who are the most important relationships in my life? What are the most important things to me? What brings me joy? What brings me what am I afraid of? What circumstances do I want to avoid in life? If I knew I was gonna, die in the next 10 years, what would I want to make sure I got done? If I couldn't fail, what would I actually do? Spend some time thinking about those things. Another great one is, what would I love people to say about me at my funeral?
Oh, oh,
And I would say each one of those is easy to answer, a surface level answer. But my challenge for everyone is to spend time to go through the, like, what brings me joy. It's easy to write down two or three things. You know what I mean? What really brings me joy?
yeah,
And like, go deeper, right? What do I want to avoid in my life? It's easy to write down some surface things, but go deeper on that. What do I want people to say at my funeral? He was nice. Okay, well, go deeper than that, right? So take time going deep below all those things, and then like I said, ask yourself, what are my values? What am I passionate about? Who do I want to help? How do I want to help them? Ask yourself those questions. And what you'll notice is when you really journal, when you really go through it, when you really spend the time doing it, you'll see these themes begin to pop out. And from those themes, you'll be able to kind of put together a messy version of your big why, and then let it marinate and let that kind of roll around your brain, and you'll be able to come up with a more concise version.
I like that. I was talking to a friend of mine this morning, and we were talking about your why. I was telling him we are going to be on this morning, and he was telling me that he had a coach and was telling him was like you figure out your why, but then you got to have a plan and you got to have the
Yes.
things to do, your steps.
The, Yes. Then
It-
you got to figure out the next.
this
Yes,
is, I
absolutely.
have to do this. Sometimes it's not so, it's kind of yucky, right? To get
Yes.
to that, you know,
Yep.
to
Absolutely.
get where you want to be. And you got to have the plan and the steps. Yeah, so it's pretty amazing. Man, this is like a, other than our little technical things, it's been really good and a lot to think about,
Yes,
And
it
I want
is.
to tell you is like, when I think about, Wayne and I go, well, why are we connecting? Like, why did I want to connect with Wayne? And I'll tell you because 17 years ago or a long time ago, I just remember Wayne just going out there and he was just like, I'm gonna make it happen. Door knocked and called and I didn't see everything he'd done, but I watched at a distance. We weren't like really close friends or anything. I just saw him at a distance, and I just watched him become this like machine. And he just started like, lead generating, and he just got so much business and he built this business and then he sold his business and then he came to Texas, right? And then
Yep.
and then he built another business and then he just started training people and teaching people all over and so because I know some people are like, oh well, you guys are competitors or whatever. I go, but I'm not his competitor. I go, the thing is, I believe that iron sharpens iron, and that I want to be around people who know how to go get it, make it happen, and then go through difficult times. Because the thing is that everything's not like TV. Like, we don't really wake up and everything's perfect and we have this perfect relationships, perfect marriage. But I mean, as Wayne told on one of the podcasts, is that he went through a very difficult time and he lost his marriage and everything, but he just kept going through that time. And you guys know, if you have children or anything, and he don't even have to tell me the details, I can tell you, going through a divorce with children and all that, it takes forever. You don't just get to go 30 days like you get to
it's
when you get married.
tough.
It's the pain and the suffering, and to keep going and then just keep building people and building people, even though he's going through all this difficulty. And I was like, man, if there was somebody that I'd want to coach me or help me, it would be as somebody who has gone through things, but it's also genuine and authentic and not trying to pretend that everything is so perfect in their life. Because never, not once does he ever say that everything's perfect in my life. He goes, no, this is what I deal with in my brain. This is what I deal with. Because most people won't do that. They're like, oh, I would never think that. You would think that, because it's common to man. Everything we go through, fear, torment, all the things that I talked about earlier, the false comforts, every single person here is went through those things or temptations. It's common to man. People will tell you, oh, I never have. You have. They have. They just don't want to tell you. Okay. And I love authentic people who really genuinely want to help people grow. And with the world of AI and all these things, it's teaching us all this, everything's so fake and everything. And that's why people are committing suicide all the time, is because of that. They think that they can never get there. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, don't quit. Don't kill yourself. Don't commit suicide. Don't tell you can't do it, because we're here to tell you that there was a time in my life I wanted to commit suicide. I even told God, I was like, please take my life. I'm tired. I'm done. I'm done. And I know Wayne, he's never told me that, but probably has felt the same way,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Yep, for sure.
When you feel like you don't have value or you don't have worth. But I'm going to tell you, everybody goes through those things, but don't quit, because you're amazing. You have this amazing gift, and we want you to go walk in it and figure out your why. TikTok's always making me fill in the puzzle. Well, we got to wrap things up.
Well, my friend, you are amazing. Thank you for all you do. And everybody needs to get in your coaching. They need to join the group. They need to be working with you. And it's amazing what we're doing. So
yeah, it is. You guys go to amybacon.com and sign up. And also tomorrow at 6 a.m. every morning we pray and come do our morning reflections with us. Thanks, Wayne. You have a great day. And thanks for all those questions.
Hey, thank you, my friend.
Have a great day.
Absolutely. I'll see you soon. Bye, my friend.
Bye-bye.